All right, we are live.
Yay, everybody, welcome. What is it? Is it Monday night? This is incredible.
It's Monday.
Well, we are going to give everybody a minute or two to jump on live with us because I know there's a little bit of a delay between Zoom and Facebook, as we know. And but I'm so thrilled, and I know JR is, and of course we are so fortunate to have Marc Ashley, our president, on tonight. Marc, wave to everybody so we can see. There you are. And we see people jumping on. We're just so happy that everybody joined us tonight. I know it's 9 o'clock at night, and sometimes it's the only time that we can find to get away. But I'm so grateful for our whole team is on with us tonight. Lisa and Lee, who are going to be covering a huge portion of tonight's presentation and have taught me so much this past week just about Shop Live, which I'm so grateful for, and Colin and Andrew and Jim and Deidre and Andrew and Melanie and Brandy and Jason and Tamara are all on with us. And of course, the man is here with us tonight. And it's a big night. It's a big night because we're super excited to teach you how to retail your way to MAIC. We're super excited to talk about a little bit of a cheat sheet of what's going to happen at our 30th annual celebration, a show that I don't know if we'll ever be able to duplicate. It'll be so good. And what's happening, right? I mean, so many.
Yeah, something is definitely happening.
Yeah.
You know, we've been doing this for a long time, and you get a sixth sense. And there's the lows and the highs and the climbs and the slips, but there is something happening. Just look at what's happened in Asia and Singapore, Taiwan, Malaysia, record numbers of people out. It shows that it's time to get out of the rut. It's time to get out of that rut. We're ready to come back together and rock. But isn't it interesting that, you know, this is a renaissance. This is a rebirth. This is a new beginning. It's a sequel to the first 30 years. And what a journey it was. But look, guys, it's your turn. You really have to understand this. Everybody talks about Weber and Vicky Lee and this, all these great people. What about you?
Yeah.
You know?
What about you? That's so important. You're the celebrity. You're the one that we're going to be featuring at this big 30th annual
and don't think that this is like the other ones. You know, every event, we only, after every event, everyone said this was the greatest one ever. Now, how could everyone be the greatest one ever? You know, and well, you know, we might have had a few that slipped a little, but they got to be pretty routine. They're very powerful in the format they're in, but we need a refresh.
Yeah.
We need a surprise, you know, and that's what a Renaissance is all about. You know, we put on a lot of great events over the years. I don't think anybody does it like us in the, you know, the entrepreneurial industry. Yeah, you know, they might get a couple thousand people together. We at our height, we had 6,000 meetings, 6 regionals with thousands of people. Yep. And think about it. This is our 30th anniversary event, but we have done 60 events with another 20 or so in Taiwan, 80 events. They were all great, but this, we're making sure, is the best one ever. We're rolling out the red carpet, calling in all the favors, pushing all the buttons, pulling all the strings, and making this event the greatest ever. It's just not going to be sitting in your chair and getting barked at and getting worked up and getting excited, okay? It's new content. It's a different format. It's high energy, full of surprises. The element of surprise is one of the things that causes people's brain to click, to learn, to start to move. You know, the shopping experience, mall without walls type of thing. You're going to have an experiential experience. And the English teacher would whip my butt for that one. But you know, it's an experiential day when you get to be involved with the vendors, the formulators, the companies. I mean, things that we used to do many years ago with a power that are squared, that are much more powerful, exponentially better. you know, the digital floor, surprise guests and speakers. You guys know we know a lot of people. You know, some people collect art, some people collect money, some people collect cars, some people, we collect people, and we have an incredible collection.
Yeah.
And they're all coming because they believe in the business.
And I think what's really excited is kind of what we put into play about the convention right now.
Right.
That with Mark, and Mark, maybe you can touch on that for a moment of what people can expect, right? With the VVIP, the whole fast track, you know, all of that, and what they can expect to see before we kind of lead this into the retail event.
Right. So these are teasers to make your mindset know this one's different.
Yeah.
This one you don't want to miss. Okay. So how do you get there and how do you get your people there? Because there's tricks to it. There's ways, and we're doing all we can to make it a slippery slope.
Absolutely. Take it over, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback on Loren and JR, you know, I talked about this a few weeks ago when I was in Ocean City, but you know, the company has seen significant growth the last couple of years, and a lot of that I think was due to our field organization adapting to technology and to Zoom, utilizing the Shop Live platform, and so you know, at the same time, we saw a higher or really a lower retention rate, if you will. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that people couldn't be with people one-on-one. So recruiting was up, but we saw that retention was lower. And it literally had to do with the fact that people couldn't get to people and talk to people and see them in person and go through those type of things that we're used to doing. Well, the beautiful thing is now, and this is echoing what JR said, now you can capitalize on both, because you take what you learned over the last couple of years, you can still recruit through Zoom, through Shop Live, through all the technology, but now you can actually meet with the people one-on-one and you can be with them face-to-face. And I know a lot of the people on this call who have had the opportunity to go to some of the regional events or the international events that have been going on over the past month. All I hear from everybody when I was at the event is how, and it just resonated throughout the crowd, how everyone was so glad to be in person.
Yeah.
And I think the people who were not in person really, really missed out. And we've got to change. Now's the time to go. We've got to move. We got to move fast. We got to move quick. Now's the time to do it. We got to move. We got to go. We got to keep it going. And we've now more poised than ever, as JR said, to grow faster than ever before, because everyone had no other way but to utilize technology. You got that, but now we're back in person again, and people can actually build even better. So you can take your business to new heights that you've never seen it before. As Loren talked about, and we're going to talk about this towards the end of this presentation, is we implemented a new Vvip program that we're really super excited about. And this takes what I call a personal experience for unfranchised owners to the next level. And by getting your 10 tickets, and we've seen people jump on board, you're going to get a personal experience like you've never seen before. And I'm not talking about the personal concierge that you get with like a Black or a Platinum American Express. This is literally a personalized experience. I want to give you some examples of that. You'll get special seating at the arena. I mean, really preferred seating, but on top of that, we're taking this personal concierge to another level. You will actually be guided by special people at the company who will be sitting with you throughout the whole event. So you can share the experience with them. You can ask them questions. I'm talking about the top of the top at Market America. Some of the people that you talk to every day, they'll be your shadow and guides throughout the whole event. They'll set up text groups to say, meet me here on Thursday morning, and you'll get a special entrance into the event. You'll get a special lunch every single day. They'll guide you to the lunch area. We're going to do special meet and greets at those lunch areas with some of the celebrities and special guests that we have. And you'll have, when I mean VVIP, you'll have VVIP registration at the hotel. You'll have VVIP. It's funny, I'd never heard of what VVIP was, but this really takes VVIP to a new level, which means very, very important person. I'd heard of VIP, but this takes it to another level. But every booth, from a trade show booth to a concourse booth, will have 2 separate entrances. So if there's 20 people standing in a line and you're a VVIP, you walk to the line, imagine being in an airport. Well, guess what? Those
That's
20
right.
people are going to have to wait because you'll be next in line to go and do what you need to do. And the experience is going to be like no other. We're also going to do an event as well during the time of convention, to where you'll be able to invite some of your new prospects that you bring to the event, and all the VVIPs and those special guests that you invited will be able to have a special gathering with all of us and special corporate team members and other field leaders, so we can engage and get to know those people. Imagine bringing special guests listening for the first time. We set up a separate room for all of you and your very, very special new guests that are there for the weekend, or new prospects. We're going to have a special engagement as well. This thing is going to the moon. I want to give you a few other things that we're doing at the convention that I think are really super important. When you walk through the concourse, there's going to be more giveaways than you've ever seen before. The experience from the time you're outside of the Coliseum to the time that you walk in the arena and to the concourse will be like none you've ever seen before. There's going to be a special mall that's going to be set up for everyone to buy all special types of gadgets that are branded, apparel, all the things you can think of. We're going to sell more products during this event and special samples. And these are products that actually we don't even sell to the general field. And we're going to do special trial size samples so people can try different products for everybody that they normally wouldn't be able to buy. So
it's a real shopping experience.
It's going to be a full-on shopping experience when you walk through. And as you walk through the arena, you're going to see fun and live entertainment, the Cirque du Soleil acrobatic kind of thing. We want to make it fun and engaging. And of course, for the first time ever, the company announced just last week alone that you can bring any of your children who are 18 years or under, 17 years or under to the event.
Wow,
We want them to experience entrepreneurship. JR talked about it, have some great videos of people bringing some of their children, but for the first time ever, you'll be allowed to bring your children for free to the convention. And we're super excited about that. And through the concourse, there'll be little activities and different activities going on that can keep them engaged as well through the event. Games, fun type of entrepreneurial events and gatherings. There's going to be live product demos. There's going to be sampling of everything around the arena. Everything is going to be an Instagram moment throughout, and a photo opportunity throughout the entire event. Another thing that we're doing for the first time is unfranchised owners will have access. We'll have photographers throughout the whole arena and the concourse area that'll be snapping pictures of all of you. And all of those photos will be dumped into files, and you'll be able to access every hour new photos for the day that have happened during convention. Thousands of photos that you'll be able to share with other people, put on Instagram, and so forth. The celebrity performances and guest speakers, there's going to be, the celebrities is one component. You're going to meet some of these people. We're going to do special meet and greets with the VVIP groups during the lunchtime and other special times, but we're also going to have some really incredible guest keynote speakers at this event, which is something that we're bringing back for the first time. We've always wanted to do it, but there's never been time to get in an agenda. We're going to make time at this conference to do that. The other thing that we're going to do, I feel like I'm giving him, JR, more than a teaser, so I hope it's okay. But one of the things that we're going to do is we felt that in prior events, the agenda is so packed and there's breakouts every night and so much going on. What we're going to do is we're going to leave Thursday and Friday night open for all of you to network together. So we're going to take the breakouts away on Thursday and Friday because we feel like, watch this, best time ever to do it is we haven't been in person, really in person until this event. Everyone needs to get together and get reconnected again. So Thursdays and Fridays, we're going to give you that opportunity to be with your people again and connect and have a great time, because guess what? On Sunday, we have the trade show again. and the trade show is going to be off the charts. And we're going to do our trade show. It's going to be all of our breakouts are going to be done Sunday during the trade show. We can get up to about 25 different breakouts going from the time in the morning up until the early afternoon period. So we'll have 4 rooms with concurrent breakouts, 45 minutes a pop. Boom, 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 in 4 different rooms. Also during the trade show, not only are you going to see the mall without walls in reality, it's really going to take it to a new level because you're walking through the concourse Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, sampling, meeting different people, taking pictures, having the best time of your life. But on Sunday, we're going to make the trade show to where most of the booths, and you'll have this schedule when you register for the event, there's going to be floor demos being taken place all throughout the trade show. So at the health and nutrition section, there'll be speakers and vendors talking about how do you do a custom cocktail? How do you do this? How do you do everything you can think of from every different university and brand? So instead of just going and talking to people, the top leaders and the authorities are going to be giving presentations throughout those booths so people can really, really get a grasp of what's going on. It's going to be an experience like no other.
You know, it's been like 15 years since we did this stuff. And when you go back and look at what really worked, when we were winning championships, when we were doubling in volume, one of the things was the trade show experience and these breakouts at it. And the other thing is, I mean, how many stories, Mark, come out of the old days from relationships, the crazy, funny things that happen. So that in-between time of being able to connect, because one of the greatest values, you know, you'd have to travel for a year all around the country to meet all of these people that are at the top of their game and to have fun and to become friends. And that's one of the things that cements the business together. And it's kind of been diluted. So let's bring it back and let's let it rock, you know?
Yeah,
Let it rip, let it roar.
And JR and team, a few other things. If you're a UFO, and you are, of course, coming to this event, the recognition that we're going to give to UFOs at this event will be like no other that we've ever done.
Yeah,
and that recognition is going to be felt. And I wish I could go into more detail about this.
No, you can't.
I know I can't, but the recognition is going to be felt the moment you walk into those doors, even in the concourse. The recognition of UFOs is going to be surrounding that whole arena because we're not here without you. And then the recognition that's going to be taking on stage, you're going to feel like a rock star. I mean, you are going to feel so special. It's going to be second to none how we've elevated the UFO recognition, giving more time to it. And also at the same time, Loren, as you've alluded to and really pushed the team on, is even at the lower unfranchised owner levels, giving more recognition to those people who just hit a coordinator level, an executive coordinator level. Instead of just starting at the top, we're starting from the grassroots and moving up and showing them more recognition throughout the event and giving more time to that.
I think what's amazing is what we said. From the moment you arrive at that arena, the show has begun. And remember, if you haven't heard it yet, the show doors open 2 hours before the show this time. Why? Because there's a show upstairs before you even get into the bowl, okay? You don't need to know anything more than just getting there. And if, by the way, as Mark said, that VVIP, if you bought 7 tickets, you only got to buy 3 more to go through that experience, which he'll explain a little bit later towards the end of this presentation, because we want to talk a little bit about retailing product, right? And how we can get you there.
Correct.
And Loren, the VVIPs will have a separate special entrance that they'll go through and be escorted to the mall each and every day. So they'll have a special access to get through. And I'm almost done, I promise, but it's pretty high level. There's just so much. And then I didn't even mention the Saturday night freedom celebration, which is going to be a party like no other with super rock stars, celebrities, entertainment. It's going to be the best party that you've ever seen. It's going to be
right. They're the most important.
Absolutely. And so you know, the other thing that we've done, we've got a lower hotel room price at the host hotel, which you're going to want to stay there. We put out discounts for airfare as well. We just launched a Market America International Convention website that's going to be updated constantly, that you can go and see on unfranchise.com, and is also being put on marketamerica.com. At the trade show, you're going to meet product vendors, product demos, samples, partner stores, breakout sessions, and a corporate tour. We're bringing that back. So that's going to be tied in on Sunday too. If you're a VVIP and don't want to miss this, you're going to get, your special personal concierge. Personal concierge is going to tell you exactly when to meet at the corporate tour, and you're going to get special entrance into the corporate headquarters, and you're going to get a special corporate tour by the corporate team, a special dedicated one-on-one with the corporate team. So, I mean, and one of the things I'm going to be quiet, I promise. There's just a lot. I could spend the whole rest of the session on the event. I also don't, let new people know that, you can get these tickets using Sezzle, which you have 4 payments that you can pay over a 6-week period. But even at this point, you could use PayPal credit. And imagine buying tickets using PayPal credit. You could actually buy your tickets right now, and you would actually go to the international convention, and you still haven't paid $1 for your actual tickets. You have 6 months to pay for it interest free. So you can actually buy your tickets, go to the event, still not pay for the tickets, and still have time after the event to actually pay for them. So the bottom line is, we just miss everybody, and we want to see everyone in person. And now it's just go time. It's time to go.
And here's the cool thing. We have really, that's so exciting, Mark. And if you guys haven't gotten your tickets, now is the time to get them, because we truly are, by the way, it's in person only. The only exception may be for international if they can't travel because of any quarantines, but this is going to be the best show on earth. And I'm telling you, I'm so fired up about it. And one of the cool things that we've done over the last 30 days is taken a lot of surveys, right, Colin? We've done a lot of surveys. We've asked a lot of questions. And we found out that those who are not coming to the event are not because they don't want to come to the event, it's because they need the funds to get to the event. So here's what we asked them. We drill down on the question, say, hey, if we could show you how to earn your way to MAIC, would you want to do it? And we got 99.9% of those people said yes. And so let me tell you something. If they really mean it, we're really committed to help them get there, and we're going to show them how to do it tonight. Tonight, we're going to show them how to do it. We're going to show them how to retail their way to MAIC. And here's the cool thing about it, guys. There's a lot of stuff that's happening tonight. You're going to learn all the different ways that you can retail product in order to get there. You're going to learn the ways that you can do it either through an event at home, or an event with your local coordinators and team pulling together if there's more than a handful of people want to do it. Or we're going to be lucky enough to learn from Lisa and Lee tonight from Shop Live, which I was able to learn from. Don't be embarrassed to say that you don't know how to do some. Don't pretend you know everything. I didn't know how to use the Shop Live platform. You can ask my team. I've been working on, I'm the greatest show host now ever for Shop Live.
If anybody's asleep on this, you need to wake up. This is a triple whammy.
Yeah, this is it. This is the biggest thing ever. So we're going to show you how to do that tonight. And here's the other thing, and JR really brought this to everybody the other day as we were talking as a group, and I know he's going to hit on it towards the end when we get through this retail stuff, but JR's right. If you have a team who want to get to the convention, it's our duty to make sure it happens, right, JR?
And part of that can be the retail program. Yes. Think about that. They're getting customers. They want to do it to go to the convention. So they make money, they get, they're able to go to the convention, you get the volume, and you got new customers that repeat, and you get to learn the technology that will go on and on and on and on if you use it. The only way to learn something is experiential. And this is a reason to do it. So you're going to get them to the convention, they want to do it, they get profit that goes towards the ticket, and you get the volume. That's a double whammy.
That's right. This is it. This is going to be big. And so tonight I feel really lucky that that we're going to be able to talk through some of these ideas. And I know, you know, Lisa, I want to jump right into it. So at the end, JR can really wrap up the message and the takeaway for everybody who's on with us tonight.
Yeah.
And all the leaders, right?
Just remember one thing. This methodology affects your business and getting people to the event, to the convention. That's life-changing.
Yeah.
They don't realize what's going to happen, but when you put those two together, you have one.
You win. You secure your income that way. It's
It
your
is
duty
life-changing.
to make sure that they get there. So it's really important. And we're going to go through, you know, what has been well thought through and put together so we can help you guys get there.
Okay, so what's next?
Yeah. So I'm going to walk through just a quick PowerPoint on the retailing part, because that's really important to Loren and Jared and Mark and the whole executive sales team. The surveys didn't go out just for fun, for viewing pleasure. It was really to be able to offer solutions. And I have to give kudos to all of you for that, because I don't know any other company that takes this much time and energy into offering a solution and really providing a way. So I'm really looking forward to helping everyone tonight and sharing my screen. There's a lot going on my my desktop right now. But we actually have a poll for you. Leo launched it, and we want to know, all of you attending tonight, where are you at with your retail business? Like, have you retailed a product recently? I know, you know, we all do the minimum for our quarterly requirements, but are we doing events, and are we doing them online? Are we doing them in person? And your results will show up real time. And, you know, as JR was alluding to, it's really time to get back together in person. And we've been saying that, but it's not just us saying it. You know, there's a lot of reasons to do this, and it's so helpful for our mental and emotional health to be able to do this. And I was reading an article recently that said this, and I thought it was worth sharing tonight. And it was saying that we are profoundly social creatures. At the root of all of our desires is a need to be loved and to belong. A sense of social connection is one of our fundamental human needs, not a want, but a need. And it impacts our mental health, physical health, and longevity. People who feel more connected to others have lower rates of anxiety and depression. Moreover, studies show they also have higher self-esteem, are more empathetic to others, more trusting and cooperative, and consequently, others are more open and trusting to cooperating with them. So that just makes our business simpler, right? And this business is about people, and it's about relationships. And I don't think it works any other way. And that's why it's time to get together, because there's only so much loyalty and camaraderie you can have online, right? But we can match the two. We can match the technology with the relationships. Another study that I was recently reading was saying that 86% of adults are willing to pay more for a better customer experience all day, every day, right? Because no one gives you good customer service anymore. And 73% said a friendly customer service made them fall in love with the brand. So why I thought that was really relevant was, listen, all we have to do is make that personal connection. We have to let people know that they mean something, that we value their business, that, you know, we appreciate them, that they're part of a community, whether as a customer or a partner. Once you do that, 75% of these people are going to stay with you. And so you put the work in one time and it's paying you long term, right? So that's great news for us, because I think we lose sight of this with technology. We get so excited about social media and digital marketing, and sometimes we get a little lazy and we want to mass market. And that really doesn't work for us. It's good to have visibility, but it all really centers down to those individual relationships, customers and business. Like, this is my 20th year partnered with this company. And so I've been through a lot of the ebbs and flows, and I can say that with conviction. We've been actively building for 15 years. And I'd like to think that it's easier just to like push a button and hit send and it's automated and it's taken care of, but it's not. So tonight we're going to give you some advice on how to mesh the two, right? We're going to talk about how to create those relationships, but leverage the technology for that high tech, high touch. another article, because to me, I need to be sold. I'm like, I don't know what you people are saying. I need some statistics that it's not just Market America. This is worldwide, right? And I was so excited about this I just found from 2021 statistics, and it was saying direct to consumer sales outpaced both brick and mortar and online sales. Like, that should excite everybody.
Yeah.
Consumers are spending at unprecedented rates, with total retail dollar volumes reaching their highest level in the past 4 years. So I know people keep saying, oh, because of what we've gone through the last few years, but it's even before that, right? Part of what's driving the current demand trajectory is the move to experiential spending.
Yeah.
What we do. And that is great news for us, right? Because we're high tech and high touch. So I hope that like sets the stage and you're all excited to retail, because maybe just type in the chat, number one, who was introduced to this business through a product? I mean, we know statistically it's about 80% of people, right? And that's why we call it retailing to recruit. And
I think also, I mean, who's not bought a product because somebody told them to buy a product?
Yeah, exactly.
right.
I mean, that's the thing that everybody has to realize, that retail is really just telling.
Yeah, what's that?
Right.
What's that? Yeah.
What's that?
It's
They
so
see you
true.
using the product, they ask, what's that? You tell the story and why it worked.
Exactly.
There's no, it's not
That's how we
advertising.
do it.
Nobody trusts advertising.
No,
It's
they
you. They
don't.
know you and it worked. They
Yeah.
want it.
And we're
Because-
gonna see, yeah, this is big time.
It's
wanna hear from you.
lifestyle, right? It's lifestyle.
Well, and I think when we talk about retailing product and we talk about a conversation and building relationships, I just need to tell everybody that nobody buys products from people they don't trust. They buy products from people that they trust,
Mhm.
and they connect with that. So for instance, if somebody tells me they bought something and I trust them, I'm buying it. If they like it, I like it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that is what's happening. So retailing is simply telling someone about your experience with the product, right?
Mhm.
So they get to experience it also. You
Yeah.
can flip the slide, Lisa, we can move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we're going to talk about the different ways here tonight, correct? On how we're going to teach people how to retail, how they can earn their way to MAIC, because we really want people to really connect with this idea, right? We're not doing this just to teach you how to retail. We're doing this to get you there.
Right.
We're doing this because you want to get there.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do right now.
And this, she's about to go over how you get conversion.
Yes. How you
Right.
get it, how we can do it.
So we're going to touch on like 3 different retailing events, and we're going to support all 3 of these with you, but you're going to have to do a little work too, right? So you have to advocate for yourself. So the one idea that we had that we were really excited about is, you know, we already have a GMTSS in place, and there are UVP coordinators all over the country. So wouldn't it be amazing if everyone who has a UVP in their area, and hopefully we're supporting that, right? Because we need to get the GMTSS going again, the in-person GMTSS. And you can work together, use that same venue that you do a UVP at, maybe find a restaurant. Like in my experience, on a slow night, a Monday or Tuesday, many restaurants are happy to let you use one of the private spaces, because obviously you're bringing in business, right? But of course you could do this in someone's home. And work together. You don't have to be financially connected. I know many of you were just at the Northern Regional, many of you were at the Mideast region, and we did that Passport to BV event. You could host something very similar to that, and we can even share all the outlines for that we put together, and just have everyone who's passionate or majoring in something bring some product to demo and stand behind a table and mix and mingle, right? This can be very casual. It doesn't have to be super formal. People just want a reason to get together. And everyone that comes in, we do have a new wellness one-on-one survey. Don't know if y'all saw that, but recently updated. It's an incredible tool to have people complete that. You can register them as a customer that way. And now we have all of the trial size marketing. So my biggest recommendation, if you want to do something this style, is to make sure that you're personally inviting people, and we're going to talk about that invitation process. But also, it's important that you're registering all of your guests to any event on your back office as a customer. and following up and using the trial size marketing, right? But this will give them a great way to get together. So mental note, advocate for yourself, reach out to your local UVP coordinators and your local area to get that going. Of course, Colin and the GMTSS and all of us are going to support that as well.
Yes, we'll help you in any way. So if you can't get the information you need, just reach out and ask, and we will help assist and make it happen. And we will meet you 100% of the way, but you got to go 100% of the way. We don't do anything half-assed, this company, okay? Everybody's got to meet 100% of the way. That's just the way
And you
it
don't
goes.
need to be afraid because you have senior partners.
Yes.
When they hear that you want to do this, they're going to do a triple Lindy.
Yes. Yes.
And they're going to come do it with you. So don't be afraid. But if you don't say anything, nobody knows.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's true. Triple Lindy.
Right.
Now, another obvious thing you can do to retail is do a home event. And I'm just looking at the poll, and about half of you have done a retail home event, for 63%. In person at some point. So that's a great start. I'm excited that more than half of you have done this before. So get back to doing it, right?
And I think now's the time too. You know, right now people need, like Mark said early on, human touch, human connection, right?
Yes.
We miss that. We need to be able to connect with people. It's a very easy time to reach out to your friends, your neighbors who you haven't communicated with, and tell them, hey, you know what? I'd love for you to come over some wine and cheese, changed my life, and it really made me feel much better about the fact that I've been stuck at home. So I'd really love for you to come over. And let me tell you something. People want an opportunity and a reason to get out of the house.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to ask. You'll get more yeses now than you ever got before, just because they want a way to go somewhere.
That's right. So
Yeah.
help your people do that, because they now have another reason to do it. They want to go to convention.
Exactly.
It's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Triple
Yeah.
Lindy, triple Lindy.
You know, the one thing that I think about that blows my mind, and I have to share, because when I first met Don, we met through the business, and in order to like have a healthy marriage and work together, it was like I was assigned to do retail events and motives, and then he focused on the business side. But you know, when we first got together, Don had a lot of real estate investments that were struggling. It was 2007, whatever. Point is, doesn't matter how much money you make, right? Because it can all be spent. And so we were not in a good financial situation at all. And I don't even know I think he's home, he's probably listening, but no joke, I would do events 4 or 5 nights a week, 6 days a week. I would do retail events. I'd take Chase in the like little car seat, whatever. I figured it out. But here's the thing that blows my mind. I think about the events I did then, the people I met, the customers I created. I still have most of those customers from 2007 onward. Many of the people I met at those retail events became partners, evolved into being partners. And that sacrifice, that time I spent then, is continuing to pay me today, 15 years later. That's insane. And I want to point that out because it's not always convenient to do this too, especially when you have a goal financially and you're willing to work to get it. You're sacrificing time with your spouse or your kids or whatever the scenario. So that's why sharing your why and making sure everyone's on board is so important. But if your goal is to get to convention, we got 90 days to get there. You can do anything in 90 days, and it's
That's
so
right.
worth your time because you're going to meet
Right,
more
if you do
people.
this, yeah, if you do this with us weekly, and we're committed to do something very special, that for when you guys do these weekly retail events, either at home or locally, we're going to be jumping in at some of them and surprising you.
Yeah.
So we are going to be jumping in and surprising you guys and showing up. And Colin and I have a plan to drop in with JR and Andrew and Mark and the team, and just doing drop-ins for different events that you're doing. So imagine how cool it would be if you had, Dr. Deidre jump in on your health and nutritional event, or, if I jump in on your motives event, or JR drops in on an event you're doing for health and nutrition. We're going to do some really cool things. We're going to do this with you weekly.
Yep. Yeah, and we're gonna stay in touch and track all that. Colin does have some stuff put together.
Yeah.
We don't have time tonight to go into a full training on how to do these events, but
Yes,
there
no,
are
no, no.
guides and outlines on how to conduct wellness events, TLS events, motives and skincare events. You can also go to the one-on-one trainings in each of those divisions and learn more. But what we did want to talk about, because it's applicable for any style event, is how to invite. Because I think this is really where people struggle. And I know I did, because there was many times I showed up to an event and there was very few people there. A lot of times there was nobody there, right? And you learn how to fix these things. And so I know I got super disciplined on having a smaller VIP experience where you are solidifying the RSVPs. And so I want to invite Lee to kind of go through this with me, because she's so good at teaching and explaining how to do sort of like a 3-step process on just inviting to make sure that you're not wasting your time.
Yeah, so I've always done this for all of my events. I have 3 touches always. And one of the tips that I'm going to give you guys is always have at least two events scheduled. Because what happens is if they can't come to one of them, the chances are they can come to the other one. So I keep it really simple, and it really depends on who your guest is and how well you know them. But I will literally just call up my friends or my customers or my clients, whoever they are, and just say, hey, what are you doing this Thursday night? Wait for them to respond. Be excited, because people can hear that in your voice when you are calling them. And if you're excited, they're going to be excited. They're going to be like, why? What's going on Thursday night? And then you can just let them know, like, I'm hosting a fun skin clinic and I wanted to reach out to you because I know you would love this. I know you need a little pampering, whatever it is why you would invite them. I think you'd like this kind of thing, or, hey, we all deserve to get together. But then you have to create a little bit of a sense of urgency by saying, I only have a handful of spots open. So I reached out to you first because you're first on my list. Can I put you down for a spot? And then you can let them know, is there anyone that you would like to bring along? Because that's how you're going to get to their people too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't know that that's an option. And they're like, oh, sure, I can maybe think of a friend. And then I just let them know, well, let me know as soon as possible so that I can save one of those seats for them before it fills up. And that really, really helped my guests as far as them showing up, because you're not inviting, 30 or even 300 people. It's 6 to 8 people, enough people to sit around your, dining room table or in your living room. And it keeps it really quaint and just, I don't know, really VIP like. And then if they can't.
That really works because people are a little bit afraid to go alone.
Yeah.
So when you let them bring somebody, sometimes that clinches it because now they feel they have a sidekick,
I totally agree with that. I would always show up with something if I could bring a friend.
Exactly. And then my second touch, I always let them know, okay, great. I am going to follow up by texting you the details or emailing you the details, things like time, address, so that they have everything in a text or in an email where they can pull it up on the day. And then, of course, you're going to edify whoever's presenting. If you have a senior business partner coming in, of course, you want to let them know a little bit why you're excited that they're coming, and let them know that if there's any reason that they need to cancel last minute, obviously let you know, so you can invite them to a future event, and you can also fill their spot because we want to, keep those spots filled. And you don't want to be, embarrassed, disrespectful to those helping you, and everyone's time is valuable. And I think when they know someone else is coming, again, they're like, okay, well, I better show up because first of all, she knows that, I'm coming. She knows that, or I know that I'm holding the spot for me. And of course, I want to meet the senior business partner, whoever's helping.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I know, listen, no one ever did an event with me ever. So I get that you don't always have the help, but if you do, you should totally leverage that and really edify that person so that the guest that's being invited feels special, and they'll feel like a jerk if they canceled, But if you make it fun and like Loren said, right now people are looking to do something.
They're looking to get out.
Yeah, I think now is going to be easier and simpler than ever before to get people to come.
And I also think just keeping it simple. You don't have to get into what you're going to do at the event.
Yeah, well, the only thing is, I want to say something about it. So, because a lot of what you're saying right now reflects what somebody can say at a home party, a home event, or with the local team, just for time purposes, because we're going to do Shop Live in a minute, right? But I think what's important here is, guys, with any event that you do at home, with your local team on Shop Live, know the product you're talking about, know what you're talking about, and spend a little time being prepared, because I got to tell you,
Yeah.
it is the most important thing you can do to really make sure that people go home with products. To make sure that they go home with products, because people love to learn and hear a story. I would buy products all day long just from people telling stories.
Yeah.
So, think about what you're having the conversation about, what you're talking about, know what you use and talk about that. I always tell people, stop trying to sell people stuff. Start using the products and they start selling themselves. You don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
People are going to be like buying what you're excited about 100%. And less is more. Don't overcomplicate it with too many product options, because they'll buy more if there's less choices.
Definitely. And then the day of touch base, of course, you just want to remind them of the event, what time it's at, where it's going to be, and how excited you are to see them. If you have a senior business partner helping you, they can also reach out to the guests and just let them know that they're excited to meet them, and they just wanted to reach out ahead of time to introduce themselves. That also kind of ensures a very successful event as well.
Because sometimes they'll get to your event, particularly with Shop Live, that's very important, and I'll reiterate that, but sometimes they'll get to your event and they'll want to go on the website and learn more information, and then they'll try to buy something. So it's just, you're going to avoid any possibility of technological error or internet glitches if everyone's registered through your back office. If you do that process yourself, make sure they're a preferred customer, then they can go anywhere and purchase, and it's going to be redirected to you, right?
Perfect, Lisa. That's
and
really
you can
important,
share,
everybody.
Yeah, it's very important to know. And of course, you can use the Unfranchised Marketing app and support all of this as well. If you want to send them, media ahead of time, you can make that part of your process. But, like JR said, it's really all about listening, having that conversation, having that relationship. And I know Loren's so excited about Shop Live, so we don't want to take away from the in-person, but there's such a place for this, right?
Yeah.
And I know when we were talking about it, how I find myself using it the most often is just like quick one-on-ones with people, because of looking the part and using products that you love. So if someone compliments my jewelry in the car pickup line at school, I'm going to send them a text and be like, hey, meet me on this link in like 10 minutes. I'll go live real quick and I'll show you where I got the jewelry from. You don't have to say, I sell it, I'll do this, I'll give you a discount. You don't need to go into all that, right? So
well, not just that. Let me just say this, that first of all, this whole live streaming thing is, shopping online has been going on for a long time, but online shopping with like a live host has been happening for years with HSN QVC. I spent a couple of years over at HSN actually. And the interesting thing is, so it's phenomenal, and it still is phenomenal. However, now you can shop without being attached to your sofa.
You don't need a TV.
You don't
station.
have to be on your sofa. All you need is your phone to shop.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It is $500 billion this year, ladies and gentlemen. 500 billion, and 480 billion of that is simply in China. Only 11 billion here in the US. We got a wide open market to take over.
You have your own
This is
personal
big time.
HSN. You have your own personal YouTube.
You are your own host. And since Lisa and Lee taught me how to use it, I got to tell you, I'm the best host out there. I am the best host out there. I cannot wait for you guys to attend my shows. I'm just going in hardcore serious. I sold products just last night to my friends because I was telling them to come on and let me practice on
That's a
them.
good one.
And I sold them some products by practicing.
Yep.
All you have to do is have the conversation. This is a very simple thing. All the people who tell you, hey, I love your foundation. I love your lipstick. Oh my God, your skin is beautiful. What do you put on it? Can you send me the regimen? Not only can I send you the regimen, give me 10 minutes of your time and I'll jump on and show you how I use my regimen. Okay, that's what you need to do. Because let me tell you something, an average Shop Live should be no more than 11 minutes. And if you're doing a detailed one, like Andrew and I were going to be doing, it'll be no more than 30 minutes.
When is that?
We're going to announce it in a minute.
Announce dates.
Getting ahead of yourself. We're getting ahead, but
I
it's
want-
exciting. I know you're going to be doing it with us.
Yeah.
And here's the cool thing. So 11 minutes is your bet. You could do like one that's like brush up on my beauty, brush up on your beauty, and gonna be all about brushes. You can do one that's all about, health and nutrition, and you can do like one on gut health, Dr. Deidre, and everybody will be glued to the screen, and you can just text and tell your friends to jump on right then and there, or people you've been wanting to share the information to. If you got 10 minutes, you know what? You're going to get a lot more people than you can possibly imagine. 10 minutes. And I say 10 minutes. It's funny because I was looking up the statistics all last week. The average Shop Live presentation for most people who have been doing this and are very successful other companies is 11 minutes. When I was at HSN, what did they teach me? You have 11 minutes to get the audience attention, 11 minutes to tell your story, 11 minutes to make the transaction happen. And you know what? That's what we did. And so that's what we're going to teach you how to do.
Great, Loren.
That is good.
Yes. So on that note, I'm going to attempt to just do a quick walkthrough of Shop Live. I don't know if it's going to work. Do y'all see my screen or just the PowerPoint?
Really.
This is powerful.
Yeah.
We can see the PowerPoint, Lisa.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have to stop share and just share my screen now. So I was talking to Mark earlier and I'm like, I don't know if my computer is going to be able to like go live with all of this stuff, but I'm going to try.
It's gonna be great. You did it already.
You can do it. We believe
Oh,
in you,
all right,
Lisa.
share.
There you go. There you go.
So this is going to be super quick. There are tutorials on your
Is it the
unfranchised
camera
marketing app. There's
Your
tutorials.
camera's off.
Oh, well,
Well,
yeah,
it's
okay.
telling us that it's off.
Well,
There
now
you
I'm on
are.
Live. Oh, wait, I should probably keep myself muted on Shop Live. But this is how simple it is. You click on the lightning bolt and you decide, you go shopping. You can click, if you want to specifically focus on one, what do you call it? Shop site. But as Mark was saying, it really makes sense to go on shop.com because then you can access everything, right? And you just decide what you want to focus on. So right before we did this, Lee and I did a beauty lounge and we focused on the Moments collection. So I'm just going to type in Moments, and here, these are the two new products for the Motives Moments collection. So I'm going to hit publish. And it's taken a hot minute because there's a lot going on here. So now you see when your guests are on, they're not going to see this over here. Okay. But I want to show you this toggle switch. I would recommend one product at a time. So if I'm talking about the 3-in-1 cream tints, you can put this wherever you will want it, that's what I have on tonight, right? So I would tell people, oh, this is my favorite color. I put it on my lips. Click right now, because I'm going to take it down in a minute, and then gamify it because there's a chat box here. So you can say, whoever clicks on the product first, you'll get a raffle ticket towards my giveaway, or however you want to incentivize them. The chat will show you also when people come in and out of your broadcast. And then of course, if you click on attendees, that'll have a list. So when I'm done featuring that, I would close it. And then I go to the next product and I'm like, oh my gosh, here's how you use this. And you put this on. And then you launch that and give people, like Loren said, this is quick. People don't need a lot of time, right? When they click on it, it takes them to your website, to your product page, and then you tell them, add it to cart. And we all do this when we're online shopping. It doesn't mean you're going to buy everything, but you want to add it to cart so that it's there, and then they can sort of prioritize their buying decision at the end.
And I was going to just add that in, Lisa. That's a really good point because you have to let the attendees know what you want them to do. Otherwise, they won't know. So as you put a product up, say you can click on the product, be sure to add it to your cart so it's there after the broadcast and you don't have to look for it, because a lot of times people won't check out until afterwards. And that way everything's right there for them and they can take it out if they don't want it, but at least it's there. And it'll take them right to your website too, so you don't have to worry about.
Yes. And so then let's say like,
and let me say this, in order to make those 11 minutes really interesting, and by the way, you don't have to stick to 11 minutes. That's the average live stream on shopping, okay? For most platforms, most companies who are having success with it. Some people do 30 minutes. Bloomingdale's can do a 30-minute show. It's very successful. People can do 30 minutes and it's great. I know some people do 2-hour shows and I'm sure they're great too. But I think 11 to 30 minutes is the right number, the right time period in there. But let me tell you some very important key features of how to make this really work for you. Demonstrations. Demonstrations are really important. Why? Well, let me tell you why, and Andrew knows this and JR knows this very well. Videos sell 86% of a product, period. You can ask Andrew. Andrew and I and JR are notorious for at night being on and looking at something, and we'll watch a video, and 86% of the people will buy that product, including moi, including him, including Andrew. And let me tell you something, more product sells on TikTok, and in these places, TikTok's doing live streaming all the time.
Yeah.
They're selling more product than any social media platform in history. Don't kid yourself.
Yes.
So this is a big thing. Demonstration video is so important, but demonstrate the product. Have somebody be there with you that may share testimonial about the product.
Right.
So if you're talking about TLS, Melanie, you can have somebody talk about right there with you on, you know, how they just lost weight and what they're doing. Deidre can talk about products that gut health, where she really resonates with people like myself who are very, like, we want everything she's talking about. But when you're having that conversation and you're demonstrating how to use a new brush or how do you use the new Moments palette, people listen and pay attention. They start grabbing it.
Exactly.
And but the more you demonstrate it, don't just talk about it. Demonstrate it if it's a demonstratable product. That's very, very important. The other thing I highly recommend, and I know that this works because I did it, and I got to tell you, I sold a lot of products at HSN. Have a theme. Have a theme every time before you go into the show. So I already know what Andrew and I are doing. We're doing something killer. Where our show's going to blow. I want to have a contest with my team, but who's going to have the best show? Cullen knows, right? And Cullen, you should have a show called Cullen Knows. But
Come on,
listen,
let's go. Let's go.
it's a great show, but listen, have a theme, whether it be, you know, bedtime beauty, and you tell all your friends to jump on for 30 minutes before bedtime with their slippers and their PJs and watch your bedtime regimen and wash your faces, or you do something, you know, like, you know, gut health, or you do something for, you know, slim your way to summer, whatever. Have a theme. People will pay attention to it more.
This is the HSN
I'm
lady.
just telling you, it's not that. Now he's calling me the HSN lady, Andrew. Okay, it's just a lot. He's a lot of work for me, folks. I'm not the HSN lady. I just happen to know how to tell stories in order to make a transaction.
Very simple.
And that's really important. Stop trying to sell. Tell a story. Have a conversation. Do demonstrations. I used to love, one of the things I remember about my husband years ago was when I met him, that you used to, that little cloth. You did more demonstrations, Andrew. Remember, Andrew, with the cloth?
We have that, shop cloth.
Oh, Lord, he
Miracle
demonstrated, he loved to do that demonstration, but I can tell you what, if he had that on live shopping, streaming, that thing would sell out. You know, you do that cloth, that thing sell out. You do snap demonstration and how little you need of snap compared to all the other products, it's a sellout.
That's right.
So think about what I'm saying, okay?
That is awesome.
So great.
Great coaching. And guys, don't miss one of the things Lisa Martin said that was so important. Before any of these, register the people as a preferred customer.
So they're connected to you.
They've got to be connected to you for Shop Live. So register them ahead of time. It is really vital, team.
And then, you know, this is one of the advantages of our tracking system and marketing plan.
Exactly.
Nobody else has this. You own them for life, and anybody they lead to in the footprint. Don't miss that key step. That's part of your value proposition here.
Big
That's
point,
so
JR.
good.
Big point.
And I know a lot of you are saying in the chat, it'd be great to be able to link up with other, yes, 100%. So we'll share our team codes with everybody. And that's what this is how we're going to help you retail your way. So at the end of tonight, you're going to get a follow-up email from Zoom. And if you open it and read the message, there's a link in there to click on, and it's a follow-up survey on a Google form. When you fill that out, we're going to funnel through those results. So that's why we have our team on tonight, because it could be Melanie with TLS or Dr. T with the health and wellness or Dr. D. So the results from the survey are going to be funneled to the appropriate people, depending on what type of event you're excited to have. And we're going to personally reach out and we're going to support this process. But like Loren said, like meet us 100%. Like we're putting a lot of energy into this, and we hope that you're excited about it. We're going to help you. But by the way, it's really not hard. And I think that's what Loren wanted you to feel tonight after just that quick demo, is just play around with it. And I did exactly what she said. When I first learned about Shop Live, I just text my close girlfriends, my sisters, my sister-in-law, and I was like, hey, meet me on. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to play around. And no joke, of the 5 people, 3 people bought stuff anyway. And I wasn't even trying to sell stuff. I was just practicing.
And I think that's what's cool. I mean, I know JR's seen me do a Shop Live event every single night, and he's always laughing because I'm always trying to perfect it, but I have the best time even doing it by myself. I've had the best time doing it because I sell myself always. I am convinced about what I'm speaking about. And I think it's really important, guys, that you spend more than 15 minutes pre-planning for this. Spend a half hour. Give yourself a half hour to play around with it. Do it tonight. Let me give you a little bit of homework. Do it tonight. Do what I did. When I asked Lisa, and don't be afraid to say you don't know how to do it, because I said it in front of my whole team here.
You did.
And I'm the leader of the team. So I said it in front of everybody, I don't know how to do it. And everybody was like, well, we've done it. But damn, all of those guys showed up for the lesson that Lisa gave us because they wanted to learn how to do it. So it was fine, right, Colin? And we learned how to do it successfully.
Right.
And the great thing is I've been practicing every night, and I have a little bit of experience about how to have the conversation, but key things: know the product, have a theme, plan it a little bit. What's your theme gonna be? Know your product well, and be personable, be yourself, be personable.
Don't give a lecture, show and tell.
Yeah, don't be me, don't be Lisa, don't be JR, don't be Andrew, be you. It's very important for you to be you and bring your personality alive. Imagine doing a layered trunk show. That's one of the things, like Andrew and I are doing a multiple of products when we do our first one together. But I mean, I'm doing like a layered trunk show. Let me tell you something. I spent $40 buying these cute little stands. I have all the products layered up. I can just show them right there in front of me. You just saw Lisa stream on it. It looks fantastic. You look great. It's such a clear picture, right? So I have all these little displays that I've been putting everything on every night and showing it. And Andrew and I will be able to bounce back and forth and talk about a product. And JR will be there as well. And we're going to have some really cool conversations. And we may even have a testimonial pop in. And just so you know, coming up in the future for Shop Live, Mark got me on the phone with the guy the other day, and I know Mark had to jump off I know Steve, by the way, if you guys don't all know, we all live next door to each other. Steve is next door to Mark, and I heard that Steve wasn't feeling well. So Mark jumped over to check on him. I'm sure he's fine. But I know for the future, very soon in the near future, we're going to have the multi-presenter feature where 4 people at 4 different locations can be on as part of the stream, which is really great. And the second other
with little parties of their own at their house.
No. On the Shop Live, you'll be able to have 4, because right now you have to be with me when I'm presenting live as the host. But now you can have 4 hosts on at different locations, which is huge. And the second thing you'll be able to do, which I found out by speaking to JJ the other day, is that you'll be able to see the audience. Now, sometimes I don't know if that's good or bad, but I like the idea, right? Because you want to make sure you want to tell them, right, that we're going to be able to see you. But the point is this: I want you to understand that this is a conversation. Think of this as fun. Think of if you've always wanted to be your own talk show host, now's your opportunity. Exactly. If you've always wanted to be your own, have your own YouTube channel, go for it. If you've always wanted to be the one like on, the news telling the story, now's your chance. You get to live out your fantasy and really make some money and retail your way to MAIC.
There you go. That is amazing. I want to throw one thing out there. I want to take it a step further. We always learn from, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. We always learned from JR back in the day, from day one. You can't show the plan so perfect. Why are you so worried about showing the perfect plan? Well, I think it goes right to exactly what you guys are all learning tonight about our live stream and even the Unfranchised Marketing app. You guys, when you sit with people, you got a co-host doing it with you, team up, you show people how to do it. Those people you're doing this for are going to be intrigued to say, what is this technology? This is so cool. You guys just had fun. This wasn't about how smart you were. How can I get one of these live streams? And how can I make money working from home? So I think it's going to really position us to retail to recruit, you guys. That's another huge deal that will come down the pipeline as you get to satisfied customers. So take the action.
Yeah, I love it. They don't know that you did it wrong.
Yeah.
They've never seen it before, you know.
That's it. See,
I like that. I got to practice on this. Would you let me do it with you? That's how I sponsored most of my first people.
Really?
This is so great. So great, Jim.
Yeah, go, JR. Hit
Love
it.
it.
Okay, so are we ready to come in for a landing?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, I don't want to put the landing gear down and tell you to put
Jared's
our
going to
thing
wrap
up.
up.
Yeah, but
And I
listen,
do want to make sure that we hit just on, did we touch enough on the VVIP? Everybody knows what they got to do?
I think
yeah,
we're
we
right
did
there.
another one of these too,
I'll share
you know.
that slide real quick. just
Okay,
so-
good.
Since
So-
Mark's not here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, just want everybody to know, remember that if you already purchased 10, you're already VVIP. If you got 5, you only have to get 5 more. If you got 3, get 7 more. Get your VVIP going. Make this happen. Make this your year. Do it with us. Show up with us. Level up and make this happen. That's what and you know, JR, you know better than anybody how important it is to invest in your group, your team.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm always honest with you, but a little known secret is every year I paid for a few people. I could not put my hand in the cookie jar. Mark was watching, everybody was watching. I had to pay, but I paid for people's way and their ticket to the convention. Why? It was the best advertising and marketing money I could have ever spent. If you ever have a really great person who's influential, it's difficult to get them to decide. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that they're against it. It's not they're busy, they're not ready, but you have to do something to trip that, that billionth of a volt. So I would say, listen, if you'll just come to this event, I'll pay your way. And if you don't want to do it after being at the event, I'll never bother you again. And but if you're there, I think you're going to see the light. I think you're going to thank me for the rest of your life. So I'll be honest with you, Tony and Pam Bowling were driving around in a motorhome. They got rid of their home. He didn't have the money. I knew I had to get this guy there. He got there. Now think about it. You know how many hundreds of millions of dollars in volume that group produced?
Oh.
Then Frank Kiefer bought 100 tickets. And then Ben Ginder bought 100 tickets, and the rest is history. But if I didn't get him to that event, because he was always argumentative, he always would stick you with his thumb with a little resistant question. He wanted to do it, but he had to go through that. I'll tell you something else. True story. Rick Hannon bought 4 tickets. I said, you need more than that. He said, I don't have it. He said, I'll tell you what, Rick, I'm going to give you 10 extra tickets, but you got to pay me. He sold one of those tickets to Vicky Lee.
Yes, he did.
He said, she said, I wouldn't have come if I didn't have the ticket. And she couldn't even speak English. I mean, the funny story is that there was only 100 people. It was the first convention. And I said, wow. And Rick, so one of the things that I learned is we work so hard at convincing people. We work so hard at getting people to understand the fundamentals and why this will work. We work so hard at getting them to believe in what the business is about, and to develop relationships with other people that make them feel like this is really a worthwhile organization to be in. The spirit that comes out of the business. Yeah, I mean, it becomes closer than your own blood family. So I had to get them there somehow. And, companies spend 25% of their gross profit on marketing and advertising. What's wrong with spending $1,000? It comes back so many times. The other thing I do is finance people's business. I said, I tell you what, you don't have the money right now. You just got in. The convention's just in a couple of months. There's not time enough to get it. I'm going to advance it, and you're going to sign a little note that you'll pay me back 50% out of every check, because I know we're going to make money.
Yep.
And I'm taking the risk.
Right.
It worked every single time. I'm getting off track here, but another trick is to get people under them going. So I go back and say, Jason, you got 2 people that are going. They're expecting you to be there. I don't know how you can be the leader and make all the money and not go. Besides that, we're going on a road trip and we're going to have a blast, and you're going to miss it. I tell you, this is how we did it.
That's right.
This is how we did it. We didn't get real formal. You have to buy 5 tickets in order to meet the requirement. No, we just had a blast. So look, I added logic to it. This is a big piece of logic. When I'm talking to people about an event like this, I tell them you would have to travel thousands and thousands of miles on airplanes and to meet the people that you're going to meet that are at the top of their game, either building or product wise, to build the relationships, to hear the training from the very top people at the company and the top UFOs. It would take you at least 6 months. So in one weekend, all concentrated into one room with all this energy and power of people, you get 6 months of learning, 6 months of relationships, 6 months of fun. You're going to be, people go to Burnt Man or whatever. This is the party, man. This is the party right here. This is the mind stimulator right here. I mean, and if you don't go, I'll give you your money back. I never had anybody ask for it. But, my point is this: 6 months of learning and education that they would not ever have. So they advance, in their ability to do the business, and the magic, belief, instant belief. When they go away, they believe in this thing. Yep. How hard do I work to get people to believe? Exactly. So, it's a shortcut to success. And I try to explain to them, look, I know I'm beating this to death. I know that you just got in. I know that you got other things. But I got to tell you, once it's over, it's over.
It's true.
Once the event's over, it's another 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose that time with you.
They may not get another one like this.
Right.
This one's big. I don't want you to have to wait 30 more years to get another one like this.
So, it really, there's some, when you think of a bunch of squirrely guys and gals that started this company, I mean, it's really remarkable how far we've come. And what are some of the things that caused it? Certainly the plan was revolutionary, and everybody said we couldn't do it, but we did it. So it was kind of, revolutionary. But, then the unfranchised system, the basic 5, the training. But the big thing was we ingrained in the DNA building from event to event. Okay, so you got to get somebody to the first event. Then the probability of that duplicating with their people, and a lot of the fruit has grown old and rotted. They had their day. It's the new fruit. It's you guys. They got to do it. So
you're the new fruit.
And so what we set in motion carries in motion. And this was the heartbeat and pulse of the company. To be at it was probably I sold 20, I made every advisory council member, it was about 15 of them back then, buy 20 tickets. They almost pulled a mutiny and walked out. It was that close, but they went my way. And look what happened, because what we set in motion carried in motion. Exactly. And I'm telling you, we can do it again. We're poised, we're ready. So that was the number one lever that leveraged growth. I'm so thankful that we did it. It held everything together. Now, the saying that you cannot lead where you will not go, and you cannot teach what you do not know is so true. But besides that, you got to believe, you got to have fun. You have to have friends. You got to want to do it. It makes you want to do the business. You don't have to do it, but you go to one of these events, man, you're all in, so I'm just telling you,
If
it's
this
not
is-
complicated. I don't know how to put it in a test tube and say, there's the formula. But you know, if you do that, everything's going to change. And you know, inertia is a real law in life, in business, and in physics, that things at rest tend to stay at rest. Things in motion tend to stay in motion. You got to give it a little push. Once it's moving, it's hard to stop. And we do everything to make it affordable. I mean, and this children kids thing has blown me away. See, what a brilliant idea. I mean, first of all, it is a family business. Secondly, a lot of people don't come because they don't want to leave their kids at home. Because, you know, if my parents went to a convention, I'd be having a party.
I did have that party.
But I mean, seriously, a lot of parents that have teenagers or whatever, they don't have anybody to watch the kids for a weekend, that prevents them from coming.
True.
Especially early on. So just bring them. And listen, they're going to inherit the business anyway. What a win-win situation. They get in now, it feeds your business, you help them, you know, help them get around, help them finance it, whatever. They bring people in, and these kids are better than you. They're digital. They have no problem with this stuff. You know, it's natural, second nature to them.
You talk about really educating your children to be entrepreneurs.
Right. I mean, what a wonderful thing. It's just a win-win-win. Bring them, we'll start activities. They're going to make friends. Amber showed the plan on stage, 23,000 people.
8 years old.
With Hannah Buckman helped her at 8 years old to convince everybody this is for kids too. It's so easy. I can do it. Don't say you can't show the plan.
That's
Amen.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
So we can build events around that. I mean, activities around that. It'll become a movement, you know. So let's prime that pump and get it going. You know,
JR, at the onset of this call, you talked about there's something happening. There's a renaissance. It's already in motion. You talked about inertia, right? You mentioned Asia. And yes, this weekend, you know, thousands of people in Malaysia. The previous weekend, Singapore. And the previous weekend before that, Taiwan. Next weekend, Hong Kong. However, it's happening in the United States.
At the regional.
This weekend here in Milwaukee, the Northern Regional. There's more and more people that are being attracted to our business.
Yeah, so let it rip, let it roar, let it out, let it soar. Go. It's time. You know?
It's a perfect time. So go ahead.
You know? So listen, I used to give people a few tips. I just, you know, the logic that I just gave you about 6 months. And sometimes you got to put a little bit of economics behind that and say, if you don't like it, don't get in. I'll never bother you. I'll pay it back or whatever. I mean, take a little risk.
Exactly.
You follow what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
How hard is it to get somebody to that point? You know, you got to put some chips out on the board. And you know, the probability here is extremely high that you're going to win. You know, so, you know, I don't want to beat it to death, but I also emphasize to people, look, if you're helping people get there, remember it's a write-off. When you go, yeah, you got your airline ticket, your hotel room. We're trying to get all that as low as possible because Biden's helping pay for it. 39%. If your effective tax rate is somewhere between 30 and 40%, okay, just think that 2,000 800 of it, the government pays. Okay. And we already got you a discount of whatever it is. I mean, this is important. Little logic points like that start to, you know, massage their brain to the point where they start saying, yeah, it's starting to make sense. You know, people, I mean, you know, we're just brought up to resist everything because we get beat up and we lose so much. So you got to help them. You know, you just, not everybody asks them, they're just going to come, and you got to help the people's people. That's another one. I mean, it worked for me every time. Jim wasn't going, so I would get 2 of his people to go, maybe even get them the promise not to tell that I financed that they were going to pay me back.
Make him
I said,
jealous.
Jim, you got to go. They're going.
Make him jealous.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it worked like a charm. You know, so you don't always have to finance. I mean, I could advance the money and they agree to pay back 50% a check. I'm showing my belief that they're going to grow. because, you know, that's how I'm going to get paid back. I'm taking the risk.
I think it's incredible.
Okay,
And that's the point, guys. All we have to do is we're asking you to do two things. One, if you're the leader, commit to your team that you'll help them retail their way. Host an event with them, show up with them, do a shop live with them if you live nearby, or walk them through how to do it. The other thing we're asking you to do is, if you're wanting to learn how to do it right and you want to retail your way, is sign the pledge. First of all, sign the pledge and show us your commitment that you want to make this happen, right? Because as I said, we'll meet you 100% of the way, but you got to meet us 100% of the way.
Right.
We are going to be busy doing events every single week. There's not a time, Colin will tell you, we're going to be on once a week, no matter what, to everybody in the field. We're going to be popping in additionally into your events. And I know, Colin, you're going to talk a little bit about that for a second, right?
Yeah, we're going to be here to support everybody and doing the pop. And what we got to do, first of all, though, is we got to identify who you are. Bottom line is who mentally wants to be a go now, which means you're committed to making it happen no matter what. And that's a huge part in getting the information. Now, some of you already told us who you were in the survey. We know over 50% of you want the retail events, which is why we know the leaders need to step up and help us do the retail events, because our timing and the ones we offer from the corporate side isn't always going to fit everyone else's timing, which is why we all have to be in a partnership. That's the key phrase, folks. We are in a partnership with each other on this whole thing. And it all grows each of our unfranchised businesses, and which will help sell more tickets. And so even if you got to sell one ticket at a time, we have until July 29th, folks, July 29th to hit that 10 ticket challenge. So if you're somebody who says, I got my one ticket, but that's all I can do, great, retail. And then as you retail, you're going to identify some prospects and show the plan. And we're going to bring on new partners. And you're going to sell them a ticket, and we're going to grow your team. So step by step, keep it simple, but make it fun. I'm going to put the, look for the link in the chat. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys to sign off on the pledge, because you got to pledge. Right? Lisa Martin, you want to talk about the pledge?
It's really important to us, guys. Here's why. Most of us don't keep our commitments to ourselves. Okay. Most of us don't. We do, but sometimes people don't keep commitments to themselves. And what happens is you end up hurting yourself. So we're asking you to commit to yourself and commit to us. We're going to give you a beautiful little form, right? You're going to have this little thing that you pledge that when we help you earn your way to MAIC, you'll take that money and use it to go to the event. It's that simple.
Right.
Why would you want to miss out? Let me tell you something. If you want to show off now. If you've always wanted to go back and say, oh, I wish that so-and-so in my group was showing up at the events, or I wish so-and-so would come to this one or see it. Let me tell you something. You just tell them, listen, you can't come. You can't come. This one's so good. If you want to show off, get them there, because there will be no better event to show off at, guys. No better event. Right, Jim?
That's right. You know, and Loren, one of the things that Lisa reminded me, the VVIPs, the people who are VVIPs are going to get some special invitations to you and Andrew on the Shop Live. Isn't that right? So let's be VVIPs, guys, and get those special invitations.
I just saw one new VVIP come through the chat.
I've seen three have come through.
What I love is I love everybody in here who says, look, I want it to be me. I want to earn my way to MAIC. I saw a lot of me's in the chat, and that warms our heart. Please don't be afraid to say you want to earn your way to get there, because we want to make sure you get there.
Yeah.
If you fall just a little bit short, we'll get you there. Don't you worry.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
That's right. But you got to meet us there. You got to show up. You got to meet us there. And I'm going to tell you something. This is going to be the best thing ever. Lisa, do we have any takeaways?
Yeah, so just moving forward, again, you're going to get that email from Zoom, and that's going to have the link to fill out the Google form and sign the pledge to yourself, right? We're going to see that you signed the pledge, but you will get a certificate just for yourself, for you to have. And that's the most important person that you need to perform for, right? So once you do that and fill out that form, like Cullen said, then we know who you are. And so we're going to follow up with you accordingly based on what type of event you want to have, whether in person or shop live, and then what category of product that you want to feature. So That's why our whole team is on tonight. We're all in it to win it. And we're going to go through all of that information. So just do that this week. You know, everyone will get their email, and with the certificate, they do have a maximum amount they process every day. So if it doesn't go through, don't panic, just try the next day and it should be fine. But I'm sure everything will work out as it's supposed to. So Cullen actually just put it in the chat. Do you want to talk about that follow-up form? This is another way we can keep our finger on the pulse.
Exactly. We got 2 forms I put in there. One is for the commitment sheet. You know, you're going to pledge that you're in it to win it. The second form I put in there, you're going to want to save as a favorite. That's where we want each of you to track your results. So we don't care if you do a one-on-one shop live or you do a one-on-one in-person session. We want to hear about those results. And then we want to be able to feature some of you on maybe some future things that we're going to be doing online, so other people can learn that you took action, you're making things happen. And heck, we might even pick a couple of you to, you know, reward at the conference or something from taking massive, you got to take massive action though, baby. Come on.
Come on.
Love that.
Cullen knows. And there's so many people. There's Tamika's in the chat saying she wants to earn her way. Joyce wants to earn her way. Elizabeth, Emily wants to earn her way. Stephanie says it. Erin said it. These people are go now. They're ready to go. Brenda said she just signed the pledge. I love this, guys, and we want to hear from you. I love what I'm seeing going on in the chat right now live. Erin Hamlin signed the pledge. Raquel said she's in 100%. Lori said she wants to earn her way. Jamie said she's signing the pledge. Come on,
How can
folks.
you see
We're
your
so proud of
partner
you.
find out if there are people
I'm
signing
so
the
proud of you. Kim said she's in. She's going to do it. Andrea said she's going to sign the pledge. Cheryl said they're signing the pledge. Let's go. And guys, by the way, final words, team, if you already are coming to the event, okay, and your team is out there and they want to make this happen, go show up with them. Go hold some events with them. Please help show some events with them so they can earn their way to MAIC, because that secures your income. That secures your business. It helps everybody. We are all about helping others. If we haven't proven this to you tonight, this is what we're doing. This is what we're about. We're 1,000% committed. I hope you'll do it with us. I'm doing this every single week. Andrew, we have a little bit. Thursday is your shop live. Is that correct, Lisa? And then Andrew and I believe, have one the following Tuesday. Is that correct, Andrew?
I believe so.
And we'll be sending those invites out to everybody who does what? Who becomes a VVIP, correct?
Exactly
As
right.
long as they invite a guest. So it's what's really, really exciting. And I'm thrilled for you guys. I'm thrilled for us. I have never been more excited. I'm so excited, right? And I know, like, Jamie Foxx did a video.
We all are.
I think we all are. Jamie Foxx did just a killer video today about how he wants everybody to step up, show up, and do more than they've ever done. He's so fired up about the event. Fat Joe's fired up about the event. We have so many people coming to this. I'd just like to say it's probably the greatest show on earth.
Gotta be there. Gotta be
You
there.
gotta be there. Show off. Okay. Any final words, Cullen knows?
Hey, just remember that each and every one of you that are on with us here tonight, all of these people we're talking about are amazing. This team is amazing, but you are amazing. And like Loren said earlier, and Mark said, and JR, you are our celebrities. We're all celebrities together, but you got to believe it. You got to believe it with us, right? That's where it's at.
You've been with us an hour and a half. You showed up. It was everyone was invited. You guys were here. And we're proud of you, and we're looking forward to working with you.
So tonight, spend 15 minutes before you go to bed, and don't tell me you're tired, because you know my story about being tired. You know I can give you a full speech on staying up later to make it happen. You stay up 15 minutes later and you practice your shop live. Don't worry about if somebody somehow or another finds your code and sees you, because we'll all be cheering you on. I want to know tomorrow, tonight, put it on my Facebook page. Did you practice tonight? Did you rehearse tonight? Because we're in it with you. You see me calling out your name. Look at you guys. You're signing the pledges here. You're calling out saying you're going to do a retail event that you're going to earn your way. This is incredible. Do me a favor. 15 minutes tonight before you go to bed. Practice loading up the products. Say a couple things out loud to yourself and practice and feel good about it. And you'll be the best talk show host ever. Really proud of all you guys.
Amen. Amen.
Love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. You're the best.
Take care. Stay
Thank
safe.
Love you guys. Keep signing those
Make it
pledges. Make it happen,
happen.
like Jason said.
Good
Let's
night.
go, Jason.
Make it happen.
Thank you, Lisa and Lee, for always giving so much for yourselves. We love you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great job.
amazing, guys.
And we'll be
Amazing.
back Thursday with Lisa, of course, and we'll be popping in and doing other things too. I'll be doing a FaceTime live right after this event. Love you guys.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody.
Love you
Love
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.